One thing I will say is these analog sticks remind me a lot of the ROG Ally X, how they light up. A lot of the expensive handhelds have this. Solid mind here, and today we're looking at the Trimui Smart Pro. Yes, my big head is blocking the Pro again, but should you guys buy the Trimui Smart Pro? I had a quick look on a video made 2 videos ago, looking at the Trimui handheld. That's the more basic entry level for around $50, and this one is around 60, 70. So the question is, should you guys buy it? I will say this, so far I prefer this. It looks a lot better, bigger display, Joy-Cons, buttons. Look at my face. That tells you my thoughts on this so far. But let's watch the video to find out, should you buy this?
This one is a really appealing handheld in many ways. It's got a really nice form factor to it. It looks kind of like a PS Vita or a PSP. And I reviewed this device when it first came out last year, and I was a little bit lukewarm about it.
Yeah, it does look a lot like the PS Vita. I have to apologize. In my previous videos, I kept saying a Vista when it's PS Vita. So sorry, subscribers, but it is a PS Vita. So this does look like the PS Vita or the PSP, not the Go, but the PSP. Similar look, a lot cheaper. Can you emulate PSP games? I don't know. I think you can PS1 games, because I know the original one that I reviewed, the Trimui, can only emulate PS1, not PS2 or PSP games. But let's continue. No, it can emulate PSP games. That's the original Trimui. But anyway, let's continue and find out.
Most of that had to do with the software, but a lot of that has been updated today. And the company has been making some really great strides when it comes to software and firmware updates, but on top of that, the community has gotten involved and improved it even further. So I'm definitely overdue in making...
Okay, so it does have media playing. It does have a USB. Oh, not USB, SD card slot. What that means is you can watch videos on here through the internet or through SD card. You can also upload games or play games by downloading them on your PC and putting them. I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying you can. We can put them on here. So far it has a lot of ticks. The display also looks reasonable for a cheap handheld. There's a lot of pluses I'm hearing right now.
A new updated video. I will try to knock that out as soon as I can, but all the same, I wanted to sneak it into this video as well. Now, I am keeping this device in the future snobs category just because there is a little bit of work involved in getting this up to date, and I do think that the best is still yet to come with this device as well, so it will require you to kind of keep abreast of what's going on with the handheld to make sure that you're getting the best experience possible. All that being said, I think we've reached a tipping point with the Trimui Smart Pro where there are so many updates at this point where it does really improve the user experience. And I think one of the
this happens a lot with cheap handhelds or just handhelds in general. When the PS Vita first came out, it didn't have many games. It didn't have many ways to be able to access multiple games that are not yet available on the PS Vita. But as time has gone on and the community has come together, you are able to, on a lot of cheaper or older handhelds, have more access and more controls, and you can do more than you ever could when they first came out. So with this handheld, yes, it does have the PSP emulator under PPSSPP. And when it first came out, it wasn't as good, and now it's a lot better. So that is one pro for getting slightly on older handhelds, on the emulation, the jailbreaking, the being able to like do what you want with it. Slightly older handhelds have better support because the community has found workarounds, whereas slightly newer ones might not have those workarounds just yet.
Reasons why this device is improving so much is because it had some really good skin and bones. The hardware itself is fairly decent. I have a couple nitpicks, especially when it comes to these analog sticks, but when it comes to just...
One thing I will say is these analog sticks remind me a lot of the ROG Ally X, how they light up. A lot of the expensive handhelds have this. They're more about status indicators or just for the sake of, adding color to it. I don't know if you can have that level of control or that UI optimization where depending on what game you're playing, what the background is, all that fun stuff. The colors change. I don't know that. What I do know is that to add them, it makes it look modern. Compare looking at the current, ecosystem and the current like versions of the handhelds out there. ROG Ally, Neo Geo. All those handhelds.
D-pad centric gaming, it is a really nice experience. Not only that, we've got a really nice and vibrant 720p screen, which works
bright.
really well with certain systems, especially Game Boy Advance. And it's also got a fair amount of power under the hood, enough to be able to play most Nintendo.
It's me, Mario. It looks good actually. This looks very similar. Okay, so they're emulating the N64, not the Nintendo DS. But so far looks good. Looks good.
4 games. And so I would almost categorize this device as being an investment handheld, in the sense that when you buy it right now, it may not be perfect, but I think it's going to improve a lot over time.
Definitely.
So be on the lookout for an updated video from me on this Trimui Smart Pro, and let's move on.
So let's finish this. Should you buy this? That is the question. Well, first things first, I'm the realist. Let me go back a little bit. So far, I would say this, right? I like the fact that it does have the RGB elements in it. It basically means that, it looks very modern. I like the large display that it has. It looks like a PS Vita. It has Joy-Cons. It has R1, R2. So far, I don't see why this wouldn't work. Just let me check on it real quick.
That I decided to put in this category is a really appealing handheld.
So let's see. Should you get the Trimui Smart Pro? We'll do this. Because the thing that I found when it comes to where I am based, which is here in the United Kingdom, is that prices vary depending on America. So if a unit is available mainly in America, doesn't mean that we can get it in the UK for the exact same price. There might be importing taxes. It might be maybe made in China, but you have to buy through AliExpress to ship it through the UK. So trying to see like, is it available in the UK sometimes is a good way to start. Okie dokie. So as I thought, it's a little bit more here in the UK. It's £139. This looks newer. A lot newer. Why does it cost a lot more? Okay, so it's £139. That's how much, if I wanted to buy it today, I could. So that does add a little bit of money to the price point. Let me go on the website to see if it might be a bit cheaper. Nope, I cannot view it. Happy that that's not a good sign. Okay, 100 okay, so it's a range from 69 to 109 depending. So it seems like in America you can get it a little bit cheaper than here in the UK. Maybe they have access to better discounts. They get shipped there in bulk, so the prices are cheaper. But here in the UK, we're looking at £140 for this handheld. Now comes the question that sits on my mind. Is that price point reasonable to get this handheld? I need to check something. How much does a PS Vita cost? Because if the PS Vita costs a little bit, okay. This is where I start being uncertain. I would say this. Get it? Oh, it's 160. 160. Okay. So for a little bit more, you can get the PS Vita. I think the PS Vita is a better handheld unit than this. I'm sorry. This unit, it does do the job. It does work. Should you get it? I'm gonna say yes. If you want to emulate older games easier, if you want to play more modern games for a little bit extra here in the UK, you can get a much better console that can play much more newer games with much better support than this. That's my viewpoint. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.